A real estate transaction is potentially the largest investment we make in our lives. Whether you're buying and selling your personal home or investing in real estate, you need the knowledge to make the right decisions. Get ready. Robin is a Texas realtor and has the experience to give you the information you need to make the right decisions. Welcome to Relax, I Got This with your host, Robin McCoy.
Hey everybody, it's Robin McCoy and we are back for another episode of Relax, I Got This. And today you're in for a treat. You're going to get a chuckle and you might learn something too. I got Mylo Draven with VIP Mortgage Inc. And he is a lender and we all know how much we need to understand about the lending process.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's a legend. I was so ready for the hype.
I'm getting to that. He is an author. He is a speaker. He's an award-winning loan officer. He is Facebook famous, and he is the king of the referral partner relationships.
Oh, God. I love it.
How's that?
Like, what's she going to say? Oh.
Sorry.
No, you did great. Look, this goes back to don't have expectations.
Exactly. Just keep your expectations here and let everybody exceed them.
Yeah, look, just let everybody do their thing. Oh, it's so funny. Yes,
So,
Facebook famous.
Facebook, yes, you are. Yes, you are. We all know that. And if you're not following him, I mean, here's the thing. Mylo he's funny. He's got a great laugh. He enjoys all the things. He teaches us things. He shares things. And he has an amazing shoe collection.
Thank you.
So there you, and he likes cake. That's about what I know about Mylo.
He loves cake. Cake is life.
That's what I know.
My dream when I become like 85 or whenever I just stop caring, my dream is to wear muumuus, have cupcakes in my pocket, bunny slippers, and construction hat with a milk hose.
Wow. That image is all there. It's all there.
I mean, like, I want to be Harvey Firestein in Torch Song Trilogy, but more fabulous with cake and cupcakes. Like, I don't want to have to worry about my weight or my looks. Like, look, I'm ratchet and I'm happy. How about that?
Finally. Right? All right. Well, let's get into some nitty gritty now.
Yes.
Okay. You know,
I'm
the
ready.
real estate transaction, the lending process, financing is the scary part. I think that's probably the financing piece is probably scarier than sometimes even the inspection part, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess
it can be.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be, which is so funny. You know, when I got into mortgages, I thought this will be so easy, right? People know if they have good credit. People know if they have money. Like, so simple. What was I thinking? People don't know if they have good credit or not. They don't want to tell you. They're embarrassed. They don't know. How do you not know you have money? I literally was on a call this morning and my client said, I don't know what my taxes were. I don't know what I filed last year. I said, how do you not know? I need to know if I'm rich, poor, somewhere in between. Like,
But it's, you know, it's true. And people don't think that they think they can't. And then they can't buy a house. I don't have it. And then you do it and you're like, why did you think you couldn't do this?
Yeah. I mean, it's so, because it's just, I tell everybody from the get-go, look, I'm going to be the best friend you never knew you wanted or needed. Nice to meet you. And by the way, I say we a lot, like we're going to need this, we're going to need that, but I have a home. So don't worry. I'm not trying to I'm good. And anything you don't tell me will hurt you because see back to last statement, I have a home already.
Yeah. Don't
leave anything out.
Well, and it's that, right? It's like, oh, they won't need to know about this little old student loan that I never paid. It's 25 years old. You know, that's not, I mean, truthfully, doesn't it all everything just comes up. There's no secrets.
Comes up. There's a saying where buyers are liars. And I mean, literally I have a deal closing next week and she told us, so the underwriter, we got through underwriting initial, conditional approval. And the underwriter said, well, we're going to need tax returns. She works for her family. I'm like, she does? Because we didn't hear that. right? I mean, the company has a name. It doesn't say like,
Yeah.
I work for my mom or my dad. Like none of that came out. So when we let her know, she said, I don't understand why where the underwriter is getting that information. I don't work for my family. The company is its own entity. We're like, okay, we'll go back to the underwriter and deal with it, right? Well, we go to get the verification of employment, which is required, obviously.
Of everybody.
Yeah, and so the name that comes up, is same last name as her maiden name. Her mother does the VOEs. Then we Google and find out the father's the CEO. So we send back, an email like, hey, the underwriter is confirmed. Here's proof. This is an entity. I don't understand why anybody's confused. This is an incorporated company. So we literally had to send the filing, the certificate of formation, showing her two parents as the directors.
Yeah.
Then we got the tax returns. It's like, sis, you already have them. What are you trying to hide? We've seen your W-2.
Yeah.
It's literally a guideline. It's not because of your ethnicity. It's not because you're a downtrodden woman. Like, we're not a misogynist. This is just the way it works.
And I think a lot of people don't realize how regulated you guys are.
Yeah. And
I mean, no, they are all up in your Kool-Aid ever since 2008.
Yeah.
It's all up in your Kool-Aid to make sure that everything is on the up and up and nobody's getting money out of a mattress, or mom's giving you money that you don't have to pay back, and whatever.
Because the crash, right, that happened before I got into mortgages, but the crash was you had exotic dancers. Again, nothing wrong with that. Make your money. I'm about it. Like, I'm about everybody's hustle. I don't care if you're a street pharmacist. Do you, boo? Like, you take on your own repercussions. That's your life. But you were having these people buying multiple homes, right? And then the market crashed. So now we need to verify where the money came from. We need to make sure you're still on the job. We need to make sure your credit report has the same social security number that you provided, that has the same, like, all of it has to line up. So I literally tell people in the beginning, this is not personal. It's math. The interest rate does not know whether you have money or not. It doesn't care about why you did or didn't pay a bill in 1999 that's still haunting you. This is just algorithms, equations, and math. It's not personal. I'm rooting for you. Don't shoot the messenger. Let's get you a house.
Exactly. There's only so many things we can control.
Yeah, and if they're still sassy, you get a text or a phone call like, girl, where'd you find these people? I don't know what to do. Help. Get your people under control.
Yeah, I do try and do that. I try and send people to the lenders that already know what's going to be what before they get to you.
Yeah, I mean, you're really, really good about it. And the other part of that is you're a great referral partner, not just, in terms of relationship outside before a process, but during the process. You're not stepping on anybody's feet, but you want to know, you want to be informed. You're constant, even with updates, you're like, I know you're going to tell me, but can you tell me now? Yeah, of course, I'll tell you. Like, you're easy. You're perfect, really, as a referral partner through a transaction. I appreciate you.
Well, like I always say, I don't talk about what I don't do, and I don't do mortgages. And there's a reason I don't, because all that math is not my jam. So,
I mean, that's why I have a computer. Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about all the things that people talk about, right? Rates.
Yeah.
We talk about how the rates have doubled in the last year, and how's that going to affect me, and why does, I'm going to go shop my rate. I'm going to all this stuff. What does all that really mean to a buyer and a borrower?
Yeah, I think, it starts with the marketing, right? Whether you're a realtor or a lender, whether you're me, you, or Quicken or Supreme Lending or KW, whoever you are, whatever entity, it starts there. And I think as a whole, the mortgage and real estate industries are not marketing properly, right? Everything's at a discount. We can get you a deal here. You don't need money for that. Okay, look, if you're trying to pick up, no offense to anybody listening, if this is it's not personal. If you're trying to pick up rotted fruit, don't get mad that you can't take a bite. It's rotted. You knew it when you picked it up. I tell
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. You
don't
get what you
bend-
paid for.
Yeah, you don't bend down to pick up an apple. You reach up. So you have to uplift. The marketing has to uplift. Hey,
Yeah.
you may not be ready right now, but let's have a conversation.
Exactly.
Let's figure out what you need to do. Let's tell you why, working with a broker is better or easier or more suited for you on this transaction than working with a retail lender. Let's talk about how long it may take you to save the money. Let's talk about why the rate is higher on a down payment assistance program. Let's confirm that there is no closing cost assistance.
Yeah.
There's no program for that. So
Yeah.
I don't know what realtor told you. You don't need any money to buy a house.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
There's going to be money involved. Don't put an asterisk next to
no cash advance on your credit card.
No asterisks that no money needed.
Yes.
Ignore, because that asterisk means you still got to pay for appraisals and you still got to pay for this and that, and there's money.
It's a whole. I had somebody literally do a cash advance loan after they did the app. I was like, what is this? Oh, I said, no, go close that account because now you've created new debt.
Yeah.
It's illegal to borrow money to buy a house.
To borrow money to borrow money.
Oh God.
Borrowing money to borrow money.
Yeah.
To buy a house.
People,
That's
don't be upset. The easiest way to think about it, right, as a buyer is if you have your cousin's best friend asking you for $25 and they tell you, I think I can pay you back in a week or two, would you give them the money? Because that's really what a borrower is telling a lender. I don't really want to give you all the information you need, but I'd like $300,000. No, don't work like that. So, my job as a lender is to punch a little and then coddle a lot.
It's like, you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but then it's going to be better when it's done. I always tell when I meet new buyers, I say, okay, this is going to be fun. And then it's not going to be fun. And then it's going to be fun again. Yeah. And when we get all up into the underwriting and inspections and the lender wants this, and I got to have that tax return and all that, I said, this is the not fun part.
Yeah. And fortunately for the way my team and I work, we always have fun because we do all of the ugly stuff up front. So that as the loan process is moving and you're getting closer to the closing date, which means you're getting closer to your moving date, which means you're starting to pack and you're starting to panic, I already have everything I need. Anything I need from you is really inconsequential. It shouldn't take you longer than 5 to 10 minutes to get it to me. And you have a couple of hours at the end of the day, like we're done. It's not stress. Like it's planning, right? We plan ahead the same way you plan in your consultation. I plan in mine. Got to sit them down. We find out how much do you want to pay per month? What are you comfortable with, right? What is your ultimate maximum? Because if you can't find something in that, is there a little more gravy?
Do we have any room?
Is there a little more gravy? You might want that bigger bedroom, but it's going to cost you. Right? Yeah. And then we move forward with it and they understand, look, if you're a W-2 employee, I don't need your tax returns. I need your W-2s. I need 30 days of pay stubs. And as we move along 2 weeks, I need new pay stubs. If your bank statement's cut, I need a new bank statement. Once you put your earnest money in the bank and you wire it out or transfer it out, I need proof that you paid it. Like real simple, dot your I's, cross your T's. And so our clients, Team Mylo's clients, they're like, this wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm like, it shouldn't have been bad at all.
Yeah.
Your wedding shouldn't be horrible. Purchasing a house shouldn't be horrible.
Well, it shouldn't, and that's why I work very hard. It's easy to fall off my list, right? Because I need people that work like I do, that don't blow smoke up people's skirts, that don't tell them what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. Yeah. And communicates back with me because I need to know what you're telling my clients. So when they call me with their hair on fire, I know why. Right. You gotta have a little warning. Yeah. Please tell me that it's all about, when I say my team, it's not necessarily my team of agents. No, it's me and my team of affiliates of you guys, my lenders and my roofers and that we know how each other works.
Well, that's it. Like when
to
I
make
say
it
referral,
an easier transaction.
I mean, like, my clients are not just buyers. My clients are realtors.
Yeah.
Right. You're my client. And if I can't make you happy, why would you want to use my service again? You won't.
Just
it's
like
real simple, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the borrower. You're going to buy another house. You may refi because now the rates are a little higher. Why would you use me if I was a total douche or you couldn't stand me through the process, or it was just so traumatic, right? Like I can't.
I can't even look at him again.
Yeah, I want to make sure you look. You're like, I love me some Mylo, honey. Even if I never do another deal, I still want to be loved and liked. Like I don't need karma. I've got enough issues. I don't need that shit on top of it. Right?
So now let's, we've got this. You said something about retail and wholesale and all of this. Can you just throw out what's the quick definition of that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. A short story.
Short story. Cliff notes. So retail lending, this is what I tell my clients. If you go to the grocery store, that's retail. If you go to Costco or Sam's Club, that's wholesale. So if you're going to a big bank, Chase, Bank of America, yada, 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 that is retail. It costs more. It's packaged prettier. It's name brand. It's whatever the reasons are, right? Mm-hmm. And if you come to someone like me at VIP, a broker, the broker is like the Kirkland brand, right? We are plain wrap, keeping the costs down, moving quicker so you can get your goal faster. And that's really the simplest way, right? We charge less and we have access to better rates because the wholesale side is about risk, right? The investors are risking on high quality buyers wanting a better rate and lower fees. And then they're taking a risk on buyers who maybe they don't have a 700 FICO credit score. Maybe they're a 620, but the working class, the average person is not going to let their house go.
Right.
House, car, those are the two bills. I don't know why I'm using these fingers. Those are the two bills you pay. I was really struggling. Those are the two bills you pay.
Yeah, it's true, right?
Right, and so that's what the broker side, the wholesale side counts on, right? The same way Costco counts on, if you have a family of 5, you're going to come to us before you go to the grocery store because we have what you want in bigger sizes for less than if you bought multiple at the higher price, right? So it's just that. I tell everybody, just think of Nordstrom quality honey at Nordstrom Rack, or Saks Fifth Avenue at Off Saks. Same great quality, much better pricing.
So why is, I guess the same thing. People will still go to Tom Thumb instead of Costco or Dollar Store. They're still going to go to Tom Thumb. Because I'll be honest, I only learned that there was a wholesale side to any of this not so long ago from you. And I'm like, what? I've been doing this for 15 years. Yeah. Why is this secret, I guess?
Well, because we are, again, when you talk about retail as a whole, just fashion retail, they're not building up the small person, the makeup industry, right? You don't hear about the little mom and pop shops that are making great lipsticks and glosses and product, right? You hear about the expensive ones, Clinique or La Mer, all of this stuff. You don't hear about us because we're the David trying to knock down Goliath.
Yeah.
And what I tell all my realtor referral partners and my clients is, I'm not trying to knock anybody down. I'm not trying to get anything from anybody. I'm just trying to make sure I get mine. I just want my lane, right? Yeah. Here I am doing what I do, and because I have a servant's heart, this is what I do, right? I want to make sure you get great service, you get a lower rate, that you can close your loan in 12 to 15 days, because now that's almost as good as a cash offer, right? And so the listing agent says, oh yeah, okay, this is a strong offer, because they're going to call me, right? And I'm going to communicate, hey, so this client, we've already underwritten this, I verified all the assets, they're buying under budget, this isn't a problem. This is how my team works. And I think probably 9 times out of 10, we get the offer, contract. The only time we lose is if somebody's really come in with super cash down, which or 10 days, I
the things that that you can't compete with.
The lie that you want to believe is true.
And then on day 9, they say, "Oh, we're going to need another week."
Yeah, that's it. Day 6, it falls out, and they're calling you for the backup offer.
Yeah. They're like, "All right, sure, let me see what I can do."
Yeah, but that's the wholesale. The whole gig with wholesale is for buyers to save money, right? Because rates are rates are rates are rates. And this is what I tell my borrowers. You can shop anywhere you want to, but when you start going online, you're not getting the whole picture. You're getting this top level teaser. Hey, we've got 5.25%, right? And everybody else is at 6.5. Well, what they're not telling you is they're going to charge you X amount of dollars to get there, if you can even get there, or this is a special, you've got to have a loan in this price point, you've got to have this kind of credit score. If you see something that is a unicorn flying over a rainbow holding a pot of gold, you're high. You are not seeing it.
It's not real. It's a mirage. It's not really there.
Yeah, don't wake up. Stay in the dream.
Yeah, because that's going to be real sad for you. And when you get all the way down that road and you're standing there with a donkey and a pot of rocks. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. You try to call your lender at 7:00 at night because you wanted this great deal, but your lender is in, Missouri and left work at 5.
Yeah.
There's a cost for doing business. There's a reason you want to use local lenders. And I say this a lot on social media. I say this a lot to my borrowers because I don't operate from fear. For what? I'm like, look, if $20 is really going to make that big of a difference to you, we're probably talking about too much house.
Yeah.
Period. And ultimately, I'm worth the $20 and then some. So you want to call me at 8:00 at night, that doesn't come for free. That's part of doing business, right? You have to accept that to get certain quality, there's a cost, right? Yeah. It just is. I mean, even at the dollar store, okay, so you're getting peas for $1, but are those this year's peas? Why is this can dented in 4 places? I'm not going to Tom Thumb for a fresh can of peas. I'll spend the $1. I'll spend the extra quarter. Shit, I don't care.
But you know what? It's funny how people will just, and it's okay. That's the way they're wired. That's the way they do things. I'm not criticizing.
No.
I'm just saying that sometimes we have to look past what is right here to what you ultimately want.
You got to look.
And what is the experience?
You got to look past the dime to make the dollar.
Yes, you do. And the way real estate changes hourly, I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny because I'm trying to call you guys, you and every other lender, and they're like, hang on, I got to check rates. And you're just doing this all day long. And you walk out of your office and your hair's just, no pun intended, it's like all over the place. You're like, I've been doing nothing but checking rates all day long because they've been changing minute by minute by minute by minute.
And here's the beauty of, and what you're saying is completely valid for probably 80% to 90% of the LOs.
Be the leader you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the 4th Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
And here's the beauty of, and what you're saying is completely valid for probably 80% to 90% of the LOs. On the wholesale side, wholesale lender, look, again, on the wholesale side, I'm not better than anybody else, but
But I got this.
But on the wholesale side, they set rates to not flux, right? We're already setting them low. So unless the market is really moving against us, right, then they reprice for the worst, which means it go right, then it shifts. But wholesale rates come out every day, obviously, right? Every lender, every investor puts the rates out, but they're setting them with anticipation of a little up and down. So the real thing that happens is when they're, the real movement, the repricing, right? It's either repricing for the worst or repricing for the better, right? Rates have improved. The repricing for the worst is usually when somebody gets on the damn TV and says something ignorant. So like somebody starts flapping their thumbs about something. I don't even know what it is because I don't have a TV on. But then I get a bing, bing, bing on my phone and a bloop, bloop, bloop on my laptop, and I know reprice for the worst. I'm like, who said what? Literally, I'll call them. Hey, I know you got the TV on in your office. Who said what? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's boring. I don't even want to know. Like, I don't even want to know. Like, I don't want to know. I don't really care. But what most people don't understand is, like, buyers, right, lay people, and even a lot of realtors, the repricing doesn't necessarily affect the rate until it's huge. So if you see 10 basis points in the morning, right, the market's, we've lost 10 basis points on mortgage-backed securities, no big deal. Then midday, there's a 25-point hit. So now we're at 35. Now you're getting somewhere. Okay. Right now it's 35 basis points. You may be seeing a price for the worst, depending on, are you a retail lender, right? Because now what they're using for profit is starting to get pinched.
Right, okay.
Where wholesale is already, right, where wholesale is already starting low, right? They're banking on more quantity versus pricing. So this takes a lot more to move.
Okay.
Right. So, and on the wholesale side, so like 2 weeks ago, when was I in Orlando? Like maybe 3 weeks ago, when we started the last deal we did together, right? Rates were great when I quoted on Sunday, which was based on Friday. Man, by the time the market closed Monday, and then I looked again on Wednesday,
it was like shabam.
175 basis points, like shabam. And I said, oh Lord, how did what happened?
It's like that. There was like this implosion.
Like the world ended. I had no idea. I was at Universal Studios. I had no clue. But with all of that, 175, right? On the wholesale side, I only dropped 50 basis points because we're set for that, right? Okay. But retail, so if I quote somebody, let's just say 6.5. Retail is more expensive, right? More cost for the decorations and the non-dented cans of peas and the clean aisles and the Starbucks in there and all the blues that you need, all the extras, right? That costs. So you start cutting into profit as these basis points, right? As the market's moving down, they start repricing quicker. Okay. So if I'm quoting 6.5, they're already quoting. Depending on where are you going to a luxury, Tom Thumb, or are you going to Tom Thumb Express, Walgreens, like where are you going, right? Yeah. They could be pricing you anywhere from 7.25, 7.5. I quoted somebody 2 weeks ago, this deal that's closing next week. I quoted her 6.625. Her retail lender that she had worked with multiple deals quoted her 7.625, a full point. Wow. And that makes a difference. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. 1/8 of a point, right? From 6.625 to 6.750 is $18 to $50, depending on your price point. Not a lot of money. But when you multiply that by a whole percentage point, now, you're talking hundreds of dollars. I have a deal that was going to go bank statement loan 9.25. Because again, you're not trying to prove that we don't know how stable your income really is. We see the money coming in, but we're not looking at returns. 9.25. So we ended up looking at the returns, making sure we could use them. I locked her at 7.5. And that's winning. $900 a month savings. Yeah. She was like, thank you, Mylo, for looking. I said, no, girl, I'm good. Like, that's my job.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
Well, and I think that's part of it too, is all the different products now too that we're looking at. For the first 10, 12 years of my career, it was always a 30-year fixed, maybe a 15 if somebody was, had the cash, but it's always like 30-year fixed, FHA or conventional. That was it. And now we're looking at ARMs. We're looking at what we did, a 2-1 buy down. We're doing a this and we're doing a that. So there's got to, buyers have to know there's additional options. They're hearing 30-year fixed. Well, that's not even the way to go right now.
I have access to a 40-year fixed, a 40-year interest only for the first 10 years, a 30-year interest only. Now, interest only is great if you know you're going to be in the house for 3 to 5 years and you don't want to make money on the sale of the house. If you really want to keep your equity in the bank, right, and in terms of the down payment, but you're not trying to really, invest money into the mortgage piece, look, hey, that's great. That's what interest only is, right? But we've got, now they're doing, income for investors. We've got income-based, basically rental-based property, like rental-based income. As long as that rental property is making money, we don't even need your income. So there's certain things that we're teetering on what I call a little bit sketchy. Because, okay, well, what happens if someone can't rent your house and that's what we based your ability to buy it on?
Yeah. What if something, somebody moves out and you can't get somebody to move in?
That's it. Like if you're an exotic dancer, what happens if you get pregnant? You can't, like, what? How do you make money?
How do you make the money?
I mean, I guess there's other ways now, but you get there's a shift that's not, when you start getting out in the non-QM world, right? Sort of that outside lanes, there's more, what I say, there's more room for havoc.
Yeah.
Traditional lanes, traditional problems.
and those are workable, right? Those are all, we just have to. The other thing I tell buyers is when you speak with Mylo, tell him everything.
Yep.
Even if you think it's not important, or you're, like you said, a little embarrassed because you reneged on your MasterCard bill in college or whatever.
Yeah.
Just be honest so that we can fix it ahead of time. Yeah. Not 3 days before closing when there's nothing we can do.
Well, and I tell people, like, depending on the client, because I'm always me, some version of me, right? Maybe I'm dialed up to a 7, maybe I'm down to a 2, maybe it's full speed ahead, but there's some version that's always, it's still always transparent in me. And I'll tell people, look, I've filed a bankruptcy before, I've had repos, like, you can't tell me anything that either I haven't been through or I haven't seen. And the good news for you is my name isn't God. I don't judge. So let's get talking, honey. Give me the deets.
Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out so we can get to the finish line, right?
Yeah. And, and when I get clients that say, well, what about, I'm engaged. I say, okay, well, look, love is love till it's not. You got to make your own decision. If you're engaged, you don't have to buy this with anybody. But if you want to, please do. But I feel like this, if you're already asking me, then you don't want to.
And here comes the therapy part of our job.
Yeah, look, that's why I always say, look, love is love till it's not.
And then it's something else. And we don't,
I tell people, like, and sometimes it's the fiance male, sometimes it's the fiance female saying what, and I tell them, if you really want to make sure that you have say in the sale, you have to be on title. If you really don't want somebody else on your title, but you're having them contribute, then I'm gonna need you to get some kind of legal prenup documentation saying you're entitled to X amount of dollars, whatever you guys agree on, get it stated now, because you're gonna be fighting later. I had a client, 10 years divorced, but he was still on title, right? Because honey, he came back for that money, like the week before closing. He was like, you're not selling without my money. She was a police officer, I'll never forget. Next thing she said, don't worry, it's handled.
Like,
okay.
All right then.
I don't know anything. Yeah,
I'm just a loan officer.
Yeah, they had some kind of chit chat. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
I don't know, but
he backed up real quick.
That house closed.
Yeah, he wanted 10 grand, and she was like, "I don't think so."
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because there's a lot of things that, and people's lives are all different, right?
Yeah.
And their story and the way they want something to go, or they think they do, is different than the next person. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, talk to this person, make sure that you can relate to them. And you have you don't have to like be BFFs or be whatever it is. BFFs.
Right,
that's
BFFs.
it. Said it sounded funny. But you have to be able to trust them, and you have to be able to tell them things that you might not tell anybody else. And I don't want to know. I don't need to know their finance. I just need to know, how much are we shopping for? How much are we putting down? And when can you close?
That's it.
That's all I need to know. We're going to go find a house within those parameters. And if we're not finding it, we're going to come back to you and say, do we have any gravy? Is there any more? Is there any more gravy in there?
That's it. And funny enough, like I tell all my clients, even if they're your friends, not your friends, because I don't really know sometimes unless you tell me, hey, this is a good friend of mine. But I tell them, this conversation is completely confidential. I'm not spreading the news anywhere. So this is what your max pre-approval is based on what you're telling me, right? Let's say it's 450,000. I'd really like to start at 4. Okay, so then do you want me to send a $400,000 pre-approval? Because if you can't find anything, your realtor, Robin's going to text me or call me and go, hey, is there any gravy? Be like, yes, how much did you need? Right? So like, if you don't want to start there, then let's not give them the full swing. Keep everybody tight, right?
Yeah.
And then when realtors come, they're like, there's more. Why did I know? Well, you didn't need to know. They didn't want you to know. Like,
I don't want to know. I'm going to call. I'm going to ask. Because I'll ask them, right? And and I'll say, can you go up? Yeah, we just didn't want to. I said, okay, so we can go to 450. All right, cool. Let me get in touch with Mylo and let's get the adjustments made.
Yeah, because a lot of times, and you know this, a lot of times people have to see what they don't want to realize they're willing to pay for what they do.
That's why Property Brothers is such a big show.
I thought it was because they were cute. Okay.
Yeah, it's that too. Yes, it's that too.
Like if you only want to spend 400,000, you realize, okay, this is not what I really wanted. I better buck up and spend the 435, 450.
Yeah.
When my mom moved here last year and we were building houses, the 2 houses, she thought she was Rockefeller, honey, because she was coming from California. Oh, this is cheap. This is only 550. I said, you're not thinking about property taxes. You're not thinking about, right? And she didn't hear me. And she's my mom. She didn't hear me. And as we got closer to the, closing date, she kept looking at the loan estimate. Why is this so high? I said, I told you the property taxes were going to kick you in your butt. Well, I didn't listen. Okay, well, look, girl. Why did she say something? I said, because I know you have the money. So I'm not going to be.
I'm not going to worry about it. I mean,
you were rich, honey. You were Rockefeller 2 months ago.
Yeah, those darn property taxes, they sneak up on you.
But so she's from California, right? I mean, not really originally New York, but she lived in California for 40 something years. Prop 13, she was paying $800 a year in property taxes. She's paying now, so we ended up buying 2 condos. That's a whole nother show. But the condo taxes are, I think she's paying like 65, somewhere in there, 6,500, something like that. Yeah. That is not $816.
No, it is not.
And it is not. And I'm paying close to 10, I think. Plus we have a PID, again, another show. But I told her, I said, and so I learned this. I didn't know this until literally, I shouldn't probably even admit this live, but I didn't realize that the 65 and over exemption is not paying school. You're not paying the school taxes because you don't have children. I
don't have children. I'm not 65.
Yeah, that's why you're paying the tax.
I know, but I don't have children.
Me either. I was like, what kind of foolery?
A lot of tomfoolery right there.
I mean, that's a look. You know, I like to use another word, but it's a family show. I don't have a wife. I got no options for babies.
All you got is Miss Diva or whatever.
I got Miss Diva Kitty Honey, kibbles and collars, and I'm paying like $12,000 to put some monsters through school.
It's funny. But these are, back to the subject at hand. These are the things that go into your payment, you know, and these are the things, HOAs and property taxes. And like you said, PIDs, that's a whole nother story, and mud districts and
it's all of it,
all these things that get piled into a payment.
It's just a beating. And, I always tell clients, because a lot of times some of the newer realtors do you should look for a condo. It'll be easier. Right. And so it's less competitive. So the first thing I tell the borrower is, so you have an HOA, correct? What's that?
You're on an FHA loan, and condos and FHAs do not play nice, or VA, forget about it.
Yeah. HOA is so expensive on these older condos because they're not regulated. That's why they can't go FHA. I mean, our HOA dues, I think, are $243, which is dirt.
Yeah, that's
for
cheap.
A brand new building. But I'm also in, we call it the geriatric palace, right? It's 55 and over.
Uh-oh, you just disclosed your age.
I'm 54, honey. I'm under the age.
Then how did you get into 55 and over?
So you have to have a certain percentage of people underage. Here's why. So I tried to, when they first were going up, I was like 51, and she's like, maybe for phase 3, which is actually the building I'm in, right? Building 2 was the last one. But it's if you're dating somebody younger or married to somebody younger, they have to be on the property with you. And if you die, right? So they give you room for, if I were 60 to be married to somebody who's 45.
Well, aren't you fancy?
Come on, sugar daddy. Yeah, so you're allowed to you have to have that window for people.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's how
all right. That's how you're in the 55 and older set. All right. Yeah. It works.
And let me tell you, some of these people here, honey, they got too much time on their hands.
Retirement. Woo.
That HOA, because we have an app for it. They really just be sending the most of these messages in there. And why did I see that? Because we have a maintenance. Why was the maintenance guy dragging the trash cans across the grass to the dumpster? Really?
Let's see.
I saw that the HVACs were dusty. Are we having maintenance on those anytime soon? What?
That's funny.
I'm in the industry and I don't even think about this stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's another show about HOAs, but it's being aware of what it costs, how that's going to factor, because that's not in your loan payment. That's separate. No. Taxes and insurance are in your loan payment, or can be, depending on who you are and what you want to do. But knowing what all those living expenses are, and you have, this is why we have to be transparent with our lenders and our realtors, because we have to know so that we can guide you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people who think they can't afford to buy are factoring in the daily life essentials, right? Cell phone, gas for the car, mani-pedi, eating out, right? And so a lot of times when I talk to someone and and I'm like, okay, how far are we off? Like, how much money are we talking, right? Oh, yeah, I mean, like, it's probably like a couple $100 more than I guess I could do it. I said, okay, so how many pedicures do you get in a month? I go every 2 weeks for my nails and I get my feet done once a month. It's okay, so you need to go for your nails every 3 weeks, right? And get your pedicure every 6 weeks, because over the year, that's less money. How many times do you go to Starbucks? Well, I get a venti at least twice a day. So I'm gonna need you to get one Trenta in the morning. Right? And they sit and they'll sit on the phone, they start laughing. I'm like, right, this is ridiculous. You're not buying a house because
you gotta have coffee.
Your nails and your nails did and your coffee. And then they're like, God, you just shamed me. I said, no, God, just open your eyes. Like, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I look, I love a Starbucks gift card, but I'll be damned if I'm not buying a home because I need to get 2 Starbucks a day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's be real, right?
Kiss your
Let's
boyfriend on
all
the
be real
forehead.
about stuff.
Yeah. Kiss him on the cheek and pull money out of the wallet. Like, get it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Is there anything else we didn't talk about? But I think we talked about everything. Is there anything that we didn't get to that you want to get across?
I think it's really boils down, for me, it boils down to, and you touched on it, you've got to trust your realtor to lead you to the right lender, and you have to trust your gut, right? Like, I'm super transparent and open so that people can get a real feel for me quickly, because I need you to trust me as a buyer so that I can do what I need to do for you. I need you to believe that I'm working for you, not against you.
Yeah.
I'm with you in the car. You're not driving it, you're a co-pilot, but we're in it together and we're going to finish this together. And ultimately, you know, on the broker side, it's not, well, I've never heard of VIP. It should be, oh, so you do X, Y, and Z, so I don't have to. Oh, so I'm saving money per month on my rate. Oh, my closing costs are going to be less. I will literally beat most retail lenders off the top. Let's say it's a $300,000 loan and the bank is charging a 1% origination, right? Cost of doing, that's one of the costs of doing business. So just to originate the loan, they're charging $3,000. Well, I don't charge that. I don't need to. So now I've just saved you $3,000. It's not because I'm doing something shady and we're some crazy broker, like, you know, there's some back alley deal for your house. It's because we're set up to run lean and to provide a service that makes us competitive in an arena where we're not wanted. We're trying to, I'm not even trying to get a seat at the table anymore. I'm letting people at the table know I'm walking by the table. I got my own food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing my own thing. You do yours over there. I'm doing mine over here. And no client has ever said, well, this was a horrible experience. I don't know why I went with a broker.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, and frankly, I don't know that they know the difference.
No, but when you start talking about how much you can save off the top.
Yes. Yeah. That's where that's all they want, you know, and I get it. Right. I mean, they're already spending $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or buying the biggest asset, biggest investment they ever will, probably, for the majority of people.
Yeah, for sure.
And they want to know that they're getting what they need, but not paying through the nose for it.
Well, you're not, you know, you're getting a good, even though I'm a vegan, that's the only analogy I can come up. You're getting a good piece of meat, not a bunch of fat and gristle.
Yeah.
Right. And we wholesale trims the fat, right? And that's really what I need people to understand that listen to your podcast. Right. One of the reasons you have me on is because you're realizing this is an avenue you didn't even know existed, and it's really a great avenue.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing wrong with retail for sure. Like I refer people to big banks all the time for HELOCs because wholesale doesn't do them. Right. I refer people to big bank lenders constantly for land. I don't do those. Yeah. But what I do perform in turn, what I do have access to, I don't want to say doo-doo. What I
but you
what
did.
I do have access to, right? What I do have access to will be less expensive, less out of pocket, right, for the buyer, and even for like new construction, right? That's sort of what I did. You saw in my live. That's one of the things I talk about. If you have a builder saying, here's $10,000, if you use our lender, well, are they giving you 10 for the lender and title, or is like, how are they splitting it up? Because that $10,000 is going to get eaten up in fees, right? Origination, points for the rate, right? They're not giving you any, there's no free money. So really what it boils down to is, can you get the same title policy covered, right? And whenever it's a builder that says, yes, title is separate from the in-house lender, we don't really care who you use for the loan as long as you use our title company. That's why you get the incentive. I always get the deal because I come in less.
Right.
If I can't recover the $2,000 for title, now it becomes, well, do you like me? Do you think you're going to get a better, like, is it worth it to you? Right.
Yeah.
Some people that $2,000 is, you know what, I'll take the $2,000, I'll take the hit to get this service. And other people don't. And I understand that. Like, I don't. And then I say, look, if you feel confused or lost, if you're not getting the service you need or want, just reach out. I will help you through the process if you feel lost. Like, it's a service industry.
It is. And it's just, I just need to get up to the plate. I'm not going to hit a home run every single time, but the more times I get up to the plate, the more times I'm going to get on base. So
that's it. I just need people to know I'm out there, right? I just need you to know I exist.
Well, anybody that follows you for 5 minutes will never forget you. So
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
It is. So anyway, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Always lots of laughs and lots of fun. And we learned a few things today. So that's what's important.
You're the best. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on. Can't wait to see you in the real world soon.
I know. It's been a while. So
I know you were in Vegas to the last deal.
No, that was exhausting. I'm not even going to lie. That's a whole other story, but man, I was tired.
Well, my podcast is getting ready to launch soon. So you will be one of the guests, honey. Of course.
I love it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and Mylo today, and stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a conversation on Relax, I Got This. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for Relax, I Got This with Texas Realtor Robin McCoy. Check out all the show notes for contact information on Robin and our guests and to access your free buyer and seller guides. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a conversation. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Relax, I Got This with Robin McCoy.